So here is the app I created. It is called Just Ask. It is a social media app where people can ask for and give advice. And then here, as you can see, it is on the App Store. It's got 2 5-star reviews. Yep, so I'm going to go on and show you how I created it. Hello, my name is Mishesh, and today I'm going to show you how I created an app with very little code. And the reason I didn't decide to make a native application is because this was my first app, and as a beginner programmer or getting into programming, I just wanted to be familiar with the different types of concepts and also to kind of be familiar with app development itself. So what I used was this Bubble application. The website's bubble.is, and then I used this to create a web app, and then later on I used that web app in a web view for the Android App Store, and I published my app. So the app I created is called Just Ask, and I'm going to pull it up, and it is basically just a social media app that allows users to ask for and give advice. And even though I didn't code a lot for this app, I still had to create variables and use a bunch of programming concepts, and I learned a lot about programming itself in general. So as you can see, there are in Bubble, there are different elements you can drag and drop, but you have to control those elements, and you can do that with types and variables. So that's in the design. There's also workflows where you can see exactly where the data is going, and then Bubble itself gives a database that you can use, and then it can show all of the app data in both development mode and live mode. And then there's also some styles where you can customize your app. And then another cool thing Bubble does, it has plugins. So for example, you could include plugins like Facebook, sign in, or discuss with comments, avatars, pretty much any of that type of stuff. And then you can also add APIs into Bubble as well. So with my app, I basically went through the Bubble tutorial, learned how to make variables, and then started creating it. And then I made it so I kind of formatted my app so that way it could fit in a mobile application here. And that way when I created the web view, it would fit inside of a phone. So over here you can see that I added a sign in where the user would enter their email, password, confirm, and then they would sign up. And then when they click sign up, I would ask the user to create a username. And then this is an input box which Bubble uses. And then when the user would click submit, if I go to my workflows, it would make changes to the user, and then it would create a username associated with their email address. The reason I did this was because it is a social type app where people could be posting sensitive materials and advice. I wanted it to be completely anonymous. I didn't want the users to have personal information on, so I made them put a unique username instead. And then after that, it would go to the page category, and then send the information from the current user. So let's go on and head over there. And then here, I just made different buttons where the user would, if they needed advice on, let's say, college, like I am right now, they could click it, and then it would go to that page. And then the user could type whatever they needed here. And then when they click post, let me see. Then I had to create variables and stuff. So Bubble isn't necessarily easy just because it is drag and drop. You still have to know the concepts and create variables and make sure the right types of data are being sent over. So I had to I had to make variables with text and post and type, and then later display that in a repeating group over here. And then the hardest, I guess, concept I came across while making this program was the commenting feature. So I was able to get the posts up here, but I needed the user to comment and have those comments show up or separate from the different posts. So the problem I came across was every time someone sent a comment, if I displayed that in a repeating group, then the same comments would be showing up for every single post. I needed to make it so that uh, the comments were specific to a post. So for example here, I had to make pop-ups. Let's see where that is. Give me 1 second. So like this would be a pop-up, and then it would have that parent group's post text, and then it would have restrictions. The repeating group would have to have restrictions on it. So give me 1 second. So, for example, as you can see, I can put certain types of information in data sources and then sort it by the variables. And I basically just did that for all the categories, and then later I added a profile where the user could click whatever category they had, and then it would display all of their activity on that profile. So that's basically Bubble. It's actually a really neat application that you can use to create a web app or website. You can control data. You can control data and your variables, and this is quite a complex app with all of there were so many different data with all the different categories that I had to create. So you can create apps with Bubble. And then what I did after I created this app was, if I preview it here, as you can see, the formatting might be a bit off because it's shown on like a laptop screen, but once this link goes to a web view, then it would condense into like a phone screen. So let me just show how it works here. Password, and then sign up. Alright, and then let's enter username, anonymous, submit. And then here are the different, as you can see, it just looks a bit distorted. So let's just click college. And then I would create a post, so I need help. And then let's just say please, and then post. And then as you can see, it has my username here, the time. If I wanted to comment, I would click this here, and then it would show up with that original post, and then @anonymous, and then I'll just put comment. Once I click comment, the comment shows up in the repeating group post, and it says in reply to this post. So that way when I click this post, the original post shows up and that comment shows up. So I needed to create independent among the comments and posts. So then if I go to my profile and click college, it has both my comment and that post I needed. So let's log out. And then if I go back to the data and then switch to live, as you can see, all of the posts, if I go to post college, it has all of the data from my app. So once I had this, I got the link to this live app, and then give me 1 second. Here we are. And then I put it into Android Studio. And I did that by creating a web view, which is here, adding restrictions to that web view, and then here is the link to my site. and it basically just condensed that web view, that it put that web app and put it on a phone. And then when I click run, as you can see, it is running right here. And then I can click through it and it works just like an app. And as you can see here, here's my Google Play console, and then it has all of the details of my app, which has been published. It has the statistics, and then just all of the stuff. So I was able to create an app with no code using Bubble, and putting it into a web view where I can then create an APK and then publish it on the Android App Store. So that is that, and now I think I'm done with Bubble for now, but I'm actually right now currently working on a new app, which will be completely native on the iOS store and the Android store. So be on the lookout for that, and see ya.